What if you could totally reinvent the way you work and live? I mean, really build a life of freedom and purpose, completely on your own terms. Well, that's the powerful promise inside Chris Guillebeau's book, The $100 Startup. Here's the deal. He literally studied over 1,000 regular people who launched successful businesses, a lot of them for less than $100. Today, we're going to break down their exact blueprint. I mean, come on, who hasn't had this fantasy, right? It's the ultimate dream for anyone who feels stuck or uninspired by their job. But here's the kicker. What if it's not just a fantasy? What if thousands of everyday people have already turned this exact dream into their reality? So where does a dream like this even begin? Well, a lot of the time, it starts when you least expect it. For one man, getting laid off wasn't the end of the road. It was actually the beginning of a totally new kind of liberation. Okay, so picture this. You're Michael Hanna. You've been in sales for 25 years. You're a pro. And then, bam, you're laid off. But then a friend makes him this weird offer, a whole truckload of mattresses. So what does he do? He starts selling them on Craigslist. And his big quirky idea? He starts delivering them by bicycle. And you know what? It took off. Just 2 years after losing his job, this accidental, kind of weird business was supporting his entire family. Michael's story really gets to the heart of this whole thing. See, success isn't about these super complex business plans or begging for venture capital. It's about a really simple, direct formula for creating value, which, in turn, creates a life of freedom. At the core of this whole model is one simple word: value. And no, this isn't some stuffy corporate buzzword. It's actually super, super simple. It just means helping people. That's it. If you can solve a problem for someone, you are creating value. And when you create value, people are more than happy to pay you for it. But here's where a lot of people go wrong. It's all about how you talk about that value. You don't sell features, you sell benefits. Think about it. Michael Hanna wasn't selling box springs and foam density. No way. He was selling a good night's sleep. A dressmaker isn't selling thread and fabric. She's selling the incredible memory of a perfect wedding day. We always buy the feeling, not the thing itself. So this is where you find the magic. This is the sweet spot for any great microbusiness. It's not just about following your passion. I mean, I'm passionate about eating pizza, but trust me, nobody's going to pay me for that. It's about finding that amazing intersection, that convergence, where the stuff you love to do actually solves a real problem for somebody else. All right, so let's say you've found that perfect overlap. That thing you're passionate about that people actually need. So now what? You're probably thinking about all the complicated stuff that comes next. Well, you're going to be surprised at just how simple it really is. Let's strip away all the noise and look at the absolute bare essentials. Ready for this? This is it. This is literally all a business is at its core. You need something to sell, you need people who want to buy it, and you need a way for them to give you money. That's it. Seriously. An MBA, a huge loan, a detailed business plan, all of that is optional. If you have these 3 things, then congratulations, you're an entrepreneur. Now, I know what a lot of you might be thinking, but I don't have a valuable skill. And that's where you're probably wrong. Your skills are way more transferable than you think. A teacher isn't just a teacher. They're a master of communication, crowd control, and planning. A waitress has incredible people skills, perfect for public relations. See, success isn't about being the absolute best at one thing. It's about the value you create with your unique combination of skills. Okay, this brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole philosophy. All this thinking is great, but none of it matters without one thing: a bias toward action. It's all about starting now, with whatever you've got. You're probably thinking, yeah, but starting a business costs a ton of money. That's what we're all taught, right? Well, guess what? The study found that tons of these businesses were started for $100 or even less. The huge financial wall you think is in your way? For the most part, it's a myth. And what about the plan? You know, the endless spreadsheets, the market projections, that giant 80-page document you're supposed to spend months on. This is one of the biggest myths, and it paralyzes so many people. The truth is, most of those plans are just well-researched guesses. Here's the real deal. You can only really test the market when you actually have something to sell. So the most important step isn't the plan. It's just the decision to proceed. Whether you feel ready or not, you just gotta go. And look, you can literally start today with this simple roadmap. 1. Decide on your product. 2. Set up a super basic website. It can even be free. 3. Create your offer. 4. Make sure you've got a way to get paid. 5. Tell the world about it. And step 6 is the most important one of all. Learn from what happens and then do it all over again. Following these steps is technically pretty simple, but there is one last giant hurdle that stops most people. And it's not the competition, and it's not a lack of money. It's the battle that you have to fight inside your own head. This is where we have to really honest with ourselves. You know, when you say, I just need to tweak the website one more time, what's really holding you back? Is it the website or is it fear? The book argues that all the technical stuff is usually just an excuse. Your real enemy isn't some competitor, it's inertia. It's just not starting. And that brings us to the final, really challenging question that this whole idea leaves us with. We've seen that a path to freedom is real, that it's way simpler than we think, and that tons of other people have already walked it. We only get one shot at this. So the real question isn't whether you can do this, it's whether you'll choose to.